This is the first in a series of what we're going to call RevYouth Shorts, and it's basically really brief little video blog entries which we're going to have online every now and then, which will hopefully encourage people, support people and inform people along the way. So I want to start with something that's really current, and I want to talk to you about journaling. This here is a little journal that I bought at the start of my post, early September, and I use this journal as a kind of a prayer diary. Sometimes when we want to pray, things can become pretty difficult, pretty dry, and it can be hard to keep a constant prayer life. And so I find that writing in my journal helps me to do that a bit more. And so I write in there, I write in the first person, and sometimes I just write prayers out to God in my journal, and I find it a really helpful exercise to keep me praying and just to help me reflect upon things that are happening in life, in the day, that sort of thing. Recently I was feeling a little bit discouraged just a little bit downcast about different things, and I started journaling again. I'd had a break of maybe 3 or 4 weeks where I hadn't written in my journal, and so I started journaling again, and I journaled myself into joy. I read some of my previous entries, some of the prayers and some of the reflections on the things that God is doing, and just by reflecting on those things, the kind of downcast feelings I was having with just left, because I journaled myself into joy. I gave these issues that were kind of troubling me a bit over to God in prayer through writing in my journal, and I realized that actually God is in control, God is doing things, God has done things, and it's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be following Jesus. And from being downcast and using the journal, I suddenly became full of joy and full of hope and full of faith. So I don't know about you. Maybe you keep a diary, maybe you do keep a journal. That's brilliant. If you don't, I want to challenge you to buy yourself a little journal, a little book, something like this. Not very good. And start using it as a journal. Just write your prayers in there, write your thoughts in there. You don't have to show anybody else. It can be a really good exercise just to help you in your daily walk with Jesus and in your prayers. The whole idea of writing prayers out and journaling is something that is actually in the scriptures. You think of the book of Psalms. There's many, many Psalms that are kind of give the same sort of impression as a journal entry. And you'll find loads of different emotions are expressed in the Psalms. Just as a quick example, I've got something written down here from Psalm 31. Be merciful to me, Lord, for I am in distress. My eyes grow weak with sorrow, my soul and body with grief. My life is consumed by anguish, and my years by groaning. My strength fails because of my affliction, and my bones grow weak. That's just a real honest expression of anguish and pain and trouble, and just writing it out in the psalm, giving it over to God. What a useful exercise. And of course there are other psalms which express just unspeakable joy, a way of expressing real happiness. Psalm 98, part of that says, shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Burst into jubilant song with music. Psalm 16, on a similar theme. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. Different emotions expressed in the Psalms, and we can journal different emotions and hand them over to God to help us be prayerful people, and also to help us reflect on what God is doing. So that's what I did this week, and I find it really useful just to reflect on what God has been doing in my past and the ways He's speaking to me and leading me in my present. Journaling. Get yourself a journal and journal yourself into joy.